I'm here in my attic setting up this LoRaWAN gateway for maximizing the reach that it can have out in the field and in the city.
Hi everyone and welcome back to my bench. Today I have yet another product to review, this time sent by Electro. It's the ThinkNode indoor gateway for LoRaWAN. Specifically, it's the G1 model that works on 868 megahertz, which is exactly what I have here because I'm based in Europe. If you've been following the channel, you'll know that I recently made an antenna, directional Yagi antenna. You can check out the video up here. So in this video, we'll unbox this gateway, try to configure it and see if we can possibly configure a private server. That's one of the interests that I have currently, is to see if I can connect the gateway and serve as a private network. Inside the box, if we open it up, we have this foam, we have the manual, which we're gonna look at the computer later on. We have the gateway, 12-volt power adapter, and we have the antenna. So let's take the box out of the way. Okay, so this is what you're gonna get in the box. The gateway is kind of stylish. It's in this black and gray plastic. So it accepts 12 volts at 2 amps. It has the Wi-Fi Ethernet addresses there, a serial number. On the back, we have the power port, which is a barrel jack. We have the Ethernet port that we're gonna use to connect the gateway to internet. We have a USB interface that, from my understanding, it's used for programming, so you don't really get data. We have a button. And we have slots for micro SD card and a nano SIM. So this one has a 4G backup. If we don't have access through Wi-Fi or through Ethernet, we can connect it to the internet using 4G, so we can have it in a remote location. The port for the antenna is nicely covered, and before connecting your gateway, it is crucial to know that you need to connect the antenna and not power on the gateway without an antenna, because that might damage it. Okay, so here is the antenna. Let's open the charger. I'm gonna plug it here on my bench, and let's try to power the gateway on. Okay, so we got the power light, and we don't really have any of the other lights. Let me get you closer. Here at the front, we have the power light. We have a light for LoRa, indicating that it's already connected to a network server. We have the WLAN interface, wireless LAN, that's not connected. And we have the LTE, showing us if we have signal. On the top, we have this nice cutout with a green light that currently flashes, and there are different modes that it is being explained how it operates. Let's go to the datasheet to see what we have there. Okay, so here's the datasheet for the gateway, and one of the things that caught my attention, beside the usual explanation, is that at least it claims that it provides a robust signal coverage with the signal range of 5 to 10 kilometers. And if that's true, that's really amazing, because you can cover a lot of area. Having seen my own results with LoRa, with an eye of sight between the devices, I'm sure that this can be really achievable, but if it's in a dense urban area, then it will be a bit problematic. It has some application fields. As per usual, what I'm interested in is the specifications. So in terms of software feature, that's really interesting. It has an open VPN client, so we can connect it through VPN to our own private network, which is nice. It claims that it has a built-in network server, so with the support of LoRaWAN version 1.03. And this is what's currently interesting for me. I want to test. Its software is built on OpenVRT, which is a software for routers. It has the Semtech SX1302 chip, so it supports the full LoRa stack. It has some frame filtering, buffering of LoRa frames, which is quite nice in case if we don't have network connection. Then we have listen before talk, which is specific to the band that we have, timestamping, and that's about it. So we have some dimensions. This is the LED indicator, and these are the different modes that it indicates. So that's about it. Okay, we have a system block diagram, and we have the technical specifications. And we also have those within the user manual. So this is the PDF version of the user manual. We have 128 megabytes of RAM, 32 megabytes of ROM storage. We have the SX1302 with 8 channels. We have 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, Bluetooth for some reason. I haven't seen it mentioned in the how you're gonna use it. We have LTE, Ethernet. We have a 3 dBi external antenna, and I saw that it has an optional external antenna, which unfortunately I do not have. Okay, and it supports Class A, Class B, and Class C LoRaWAN protocol, and its dimension is 140 by 140 millimeters by 39 millimeters in height. One thing to note for the gateway is that the SD and SIM cards are not hot swappable. So if you want to change the SD card, or if you want to change the SIM card, if you are using your gateway with one, then you would need to power off the gateway, replace them, and then power it on back. In case you decide to remove it while still at power, you may damage them, so be careful of that. And as I said, do not power the gateway without connecting the antenna, and this usually goes for any LoRa related modules. You always need to have the antenna connected. Based on the documentation, there seems to be a version of the gateway that also accepts a GPS antenna. Unfortunately, mine does not. I imagine that the GPS signal would be probably used to get specific location of the gateway, as well as getting a correct time. Now, to be able to configure the gateway, we need to press the back button for 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The light changed to blue, and what this does is it shows us that the gateway is in configuration mode. In configuration mode, the gateway will create its own access point, and we need to connect to it from the computer. So let's do that. I managed to connect to the device Wi-Fi, and if we open 192.168.1.1, we're greeted to the login screen. The default username and password is root. So let's go in, and we should be now inside the gateway firmware. Let's try to zoom in. To configure, we need to go to LoRaWAN and LoRa Gateway. And here we have few parameters that we need to set. The first one is the interface that we're gonna connect internet through it. In my case, I'm gonna use Ethernet. The frequency is 868, and it seems that we can possibly update that. What else do we have? We have some settings if we want to connect to the Things network. So I think it might come pre-configured for it. Some specific rules or some basic station rules. I don't see any other option where I connect it as a private network. We'll see about that. And here we are with the gateway setup. I did that off camera because I went and communicated with Electro a few times back and forth, trying to figure out how to activate the claimed private server running on the gateway. It turns out there is no private server running on the gateway. It is only a gateway that you can connect to an external server. So keep that in mind if you ever need to run your own private version, as I wanted with LoRaWAN. So I went in and connected the gateway as you see it here. So 868 megahertz as a packet forwarder, connected it to the Things network on the default settings. And we have the gateway here. So you could see that it's connected, running, and it's sending data through it. Now, if we go and see the coverage map for Things network, you could see that in the area where I live, this is actually the only gateway operating. So this is I named it TCP ThinkNode, and I plan to have it active for anyone that wants to use LoRa or do experiments. I will keep it on and active. So I was thinking a bit on the placement where I could mount this so it has the best reception. As you've probably seen from some of my other LoRa videos, I live on a hill, so I have quite a high vantage point to a lot of the field outside and a lot of the city that I see. So I came up with the plan to mount the gateway to my attic. That way the antenna will be as high as possible while still being inside, because this is like an indoor gateway, so and it's not weatherproof. I know that there are probably some antennas that I could add that are external, but we'll see about that later. For now, I'm gonna mount this in the attic as high as possible as I can, and being at the attic, it will have the least obstacles, so there will be only like the wood of the roof and some ceramic tiles on top. Hopefully that should provide the best possible coverage while still being inside. And to later on test the coverage, I built this. This is just a simple ESP32 with the RYLR993 module from React that can connect to LoRaWAN. The current setup of it is as follows. So on it, I have a small code that connects to the module, and I pre-configured it with all of the addresses and everything needed. So the only thing that we need to send is to instruct it to join on power up. And then when we press on the button pin, which is the button 0, the boot button on the ESP32, we are sending just a random number to channel 1 of the analog inputs through the Cayenne LPP library, and should be able to see that being sent. The idea is that I will then go through various locations around the city, figure out where we can talk with the gateway. Being the only one, and I already tested this with the gateway offline, then this does not connect. So when we power it on, it will not connect to LoRa, and it will not be able to send the data. So now let's connect it. I'm gonna plug it here to my computer so we could see the serial data coming in. Okay, let me change the port. Okay, and you see here we got the received from LoRa module event joined, that we joined a LoRaWAN. So I've created also a test application that has one end device, which is the range test device. And you could see the latest data is about 30 seconds ago when we plugged it in. If we go to see the live data, then when I press the boot button here on the ESP32, so we will send some data, and you could see it here that we got an analog input 1, and in the serial monitor we're gonna get the event that we got sent confirmed. Additionally, when the device connects to through the gateway to the LoRa network, I have this blue LED turning on. So this is the built-in LED on pin 2 that will turn on to indicate that we are connected to LoRa. So if I turn off the gateway now, so you see it's powered off, and I will also power off the module, wait for a second or so, and power it up back again. You could see here that the LED on the module is blinking, the blue light is not on, and if we look at the serial communication, we are getting a message that it failed to join LoRaWAN, and it will retry until we get connection. Now I'm gonna climb up the attic and mount it there.
And here is the gateway in its final living place. This is the top of my roof. So this is my attic, and above this wood here we have like the ceramic tiles that are covering the outside. So this is the highest point that it can be. I wired it here to this plug. So hopefully we'll see if we can maximize the reach that it has out in the field and the city, so everyone can use it.
Okay, so the gateway is now installed in the attic and the device is powered off. Here on the screen, on the left, we have the serial console. So we'll see how the ESP82 communicates. And on the right, I have the ThinkStack sandbox with the live data as it comes. So we're gonna see, I'm gonna power on the device. So we see that it's being stated as ready, and we immediately saw the join, and it is now joined. If I press the boot button, then we should hopefully see some sort of a payload, and we do. If I just, yeah, so we see the payload of 59. Let's try again. And again, payload of 72. So everything is working. We have proof of concept device. So next, I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna try it from a few different locations within the city. Okay, so at location 1, I'm gonna power the device. And let's see, this is slightly away from line of sight. Let's see how it goes. And yes, we have the blue light, and we can see here that the device, okay, latest activity 5 minutes ago. Let's try to refresh that. So 28 seconds if we press the boot button, and just now, and we got the data. So here I'm gonna have the distances of each locations here on screen so you could follow along. Okay, location number 2. The last communication was about 3 minutes ago. Let's power it on. And keep in mind that we are still doing the test from within the car, but I still believe that it's gonna work, which it does 10 seconds ago. And if we try and send data, so 35. Okay, let's see what's 35, and we had another one 40. If I press it once again, so 52. So we do have a communication, and we're still within the car. We're gonna go to the location that we had like the furthest communication before. Okay, we are further down the road, and let's power it on. We're looking for the blue light and the join request. Okay, so seems to have joined, and yes, we have the join. If we press, we're getting now values 3, and this is, I'm gonna have the distance on screen, but keep in mind that this is still from within the car, out in the field, and the gateway is that direction. Okay, so new location, the gateway is somewhere there. That's the city with the mountain in the back. I'm still in the car, so let's see if it's gonna connect. Waiting for the blue light. Yep, so it does connect. We have the join, and there we have it, 23. Okay, we got 90, but it's a bit slower maybe with the update, but still this is about 8 kilometers away, and it works from within the car, so I don't suspect that it's gonna work with the claimed 10 to 15 kilometers range of the gateway. So we're now more within the city, and the gateway is somewhere over there. Let's turn it on. Yep, I think it, oh no, not yet. So still blinks. Okay, so let's try with the window open and having it pointed. Nope. You could see the red LED there. It blinks, so it doesn't connect. This is definitely closer than what we were before, but this is further away in terms of being in an urban area. And after a few tries, it actually connected. Let's try and send some data. Okay. Will we see the LEDs? And yes, we got the payload. Okay, new location next to the city stadium. I just turned it on. Now as we go into this part of the city, the angle will be different because the hill will be more and more in the way. Yeah, I think that's... No, I saw the blue light. Was it able to communicate? Let's try to keep the antenna upright as much as possible. No, let's try and go outside. Okay, so being outside definitely helps. We're still at the stadium and it now connected. I'm now recording from my phone because I cannot hold the camera and the phone and everything all at once. Let's try and send data. We should get both the send and receive LEDs to light up, and they did. So we're gonna have the data there. Now we'll go in that direction over there and we'll see if we're gonna get reception and until when. Another location and one with a nice view of the city. Let's turn it on. And I don't even doubt that it's gonna connect this one. Maybe not from this position low on the seat, but this has a clear, yeah, so it has a clear line of sight with the gateway because the gateway is up there in those houses. So if I zoom in, yep, somewhere there. Okay, so we're now at location that is behind some buildings and actually behind the hill where my house is. So let's try it out. Yep, I don't think it's going to work now. Let's wait a few seconds. And here, even outside, because we lost that line of sight, it now no longer works. So we have a lot of the city covered. Of course, we're not gonna have it all, but at least we got most of the field. Okay, one last location in the city center, and you could see that it got connected there, and we're out in the city. And with that, I'm gonna end the video right here. The gateway is up and running, installed and functioning correctly. If there's anyone in the area that wants to use it, feel free to do so and let me know down in the comments. Hopefully we can grow this community together and help people to install their own LoRaWAN sensors so they can see benefits of having the network. If you want to help with any means, either by sensors or with additional gateways, then feel free to contact me. If you like this video, then be sure to check my other videos regarding LoRa. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers!